Okay. Give me one moment here. I do need to grab the chat now. You're so hyped now because of the second coffee. What did you miss? Pretty much nothing, Dave. Pretty much nothing. I literally was only talking about the first game. And that's pretty much it. And then my computer like died for like no reason, probably because I was like playing footage or whatever on the PowerPoint. So hopefully it works out. Yeah, let me make sure I got my... Okay, so chat is back and that looks fine. Let's see if it looks fine over... Yeah, okay. Okay, I feel a little flabbergasted. But we're gonna try to make a nice little... We're gonna try to make a nice little recovery here. So hopefully this works. Let's see. I walked to the cafe. I had a mocha and a caramel slice. Caramel slice, like a little coffee cake. I had to go home before the sun got too bad. Yeah, Dave, I'm doing my third grade book report. Wow! I'm doing my third grade book report. All right, so let's try to get back to. This is a video game awards. Okay. Professional as fuck. True. Alright, I'm going to show you a game I played. Most of them are from 2025. Some are older. Regardless, I'm proud of all that I played this year. I'll be giving each game an award. So this isn't just the best ones. This is every game I played gets some sort of award, okay? Seems like we're back. I'm just going to focus on just the PowerPoint. So we're going to go music list, which is... I know, it sucks a little bit. It's very anti-Izzy, but that's okay. We're gonna go forward with it. Okay. We're talking about the Silent Hill 2 remake. Hopefully the footage doesn't fucking crash my shit. Okay. Let's see. I was really taken in by the imagination this game displays. I instantly fell in love with a series beloved by so many, despite not being the biggest horror buff. I'm very casual, but I felt many moments of tension throughout the game. I loved the puzzle boxes and individual puzzles. I had a big couple-day hyperfixation on the game for sure. The characters and story definitely made a great impression on me, as their writing and portrayals were done in an amazing way that just left me floored. The OST is obviously just phenomenal. I really loved this game. Yeah, and now I need to expand on all of that, even though I was literally doing that before the stream crashed. That's gonna be really fun to edit later. It's gonna be really fun to edit out of the stream later. But yeah, like I said, I'm not the biggest horror buff, and I think a big reason for that, in conjunction with my little statement that I had a big couple-day hyperfixation on this game for sure, is because with me, when it comes to scary stuff, I tend to, like, one, I need to know like what like I need to kind of know like the premise is actually going to be interesting to me going in, because otherwise I'm just gonna be scared for no reason, and I don't fucking like that. And also, if I end up getting quite scared, for some reason I have a hard time putting a game down. So like if I'm feeling pretty stressed out, like I'll just sit and play the game for like hours more than I actually like want to, because like I don't know, I just get paralyzed with fear. I just keep playing. It's kind of like a really funny phenomenon to me. So that's why I need to like know that I'm actually gonna like be super interested in a horror thing going into it. And fortunately, with its emphasis on exploring characters' psyches and being a little bit wacky and goofy and like, you know, just being a little bit out there and strange and weird, Silent Hill really intrigued me. Like, it really did invest me. I think I always knew I would be into it, and I think hearing that a lot of people were pretty okay with this remake's take on Silent Hill 2 was able to help me actually, like, you know, get the game on a modern console and actually like try out a Silent Hill game. I will say the Silent Hill fan base is quickly not really becoming one of my favorites. Wow! because we get this pretty good remake that I really enjoyed, and it's getting me into the series, right? But then anyone who played the original wants to talk about is how it doesn't live up to the original. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, hey, here I am finally enjoying this series I've heard so many good things about. And they're like, guys, it's just not the same. It doesn't have the same subtle atmosphere. And it doesn't have the same emphasis upon James' psyche and blah, blah, you know. And I'm sure there's like definitely things that the remake does worse than the original. But also, didn't you guys not like the straight up HD port? Didn't you guys not like the straight up? I don't know. I'm gonna be real, as someone who just got into Silent Hill 2 and was very invested in this remake, I get it's not exactly the same, but I feel like we could be a little happier that something is just back in a way that's pretty nice and also gets new people into the game. I don't know. I definitely yeah, I'm not gonna try. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Plush. Haters are gonna be haters, so I don't want to dwell on that too much, because I just also had a really good time. I think also when having played this game, I would be more interested now to go out of my way to try the original on an emulator. Sometimes you don't want to set up an emulator. Sometimes you just want to play a nice shiny new release and sit on your couch, click the little PS5 button, beep, and just sit down and just play a video game. But because this remake was actually pretty faithful from what I understand and pretty enjoyable and got really sucked into the story, I actually would really be interested to go out of my way to set up an emulator to play the original version of this game. I will say a lot of the puzzles seem pretty intact from what I understand, and I also really enjoyed solving a lot of them. I liked a lot of the characters. I liked the performances a lot. Just the whole presentation of the game just seems really cool. I actually, this is one of those games where it's like, I don't want to talk about the story too much here in case you don't know anything about the game. But it is one of those games where its reputation is, this is the game where this twist happens. And as impactful as that twist was, I found other aspects of the game's story to be just as, if not more, shocking and investing. For example, one of the side characters that you continually run into throughout the game has, I would say, an even more heartbreaking story that represents a very, very sensitive topic that can be very triggering to a lot of people. And it does it in a very, not just like weird and imaginative way, but also very responsible and empathetic way. People who played the game definitely know who I'm talking about. But I really liked a lot of the side characters in this game, but I think that also really works because James is just supposed to be like a Joe Schmo type guy, and then the more you learn about him, the more you're like, what the fuck is your problem? Can you like emote more? And James is like, no, I don't really feel like emoting. I don't really feel like emoting more. And you know, it just actually like really sucks you in. And also, you know, anyone who knows anything about fucking video games knows Akira Yamaoka is the fucking man, and his approach to music is fantastic. I will say, when it comes to the Silent Hill 2 remake, the fact that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and fucking the Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door remake and obviously other games from last year exist, and then this game's soundtrack, which was literally the most straightforward remastering of the original soundtrack, exists, and then this game got nominated for best original soundtrack, is fucking ridiculous. I have no fucking idea. I have no idea what Jeff was doing with that one, and that's saying a lot because I never know what the fuck Jeff is doing with any decision he makes. But other than that, I really was taken in by this game. Like, this remake just gave me a more immediately accessible way to check out a very faithful interpretation of this story and like this horror setup. I enjoyed it quite a bit, and it primed me to actually be interested in another Silent Hill game we will be talking about later. But for now, the Silent Hill 2 remake is going to receive the Best Survival Horror I Played award. I do think as a survival horror game, it is also quite strong. I didn't really touch on that too much so far, but I really liked, you know, I think the combat had quite a bit of nice balancing of resource management and also just like figuring out when the fuck do I go for it, when do I hang back and hide. There was a really good balance to that. I quite enjoyed it a bit. So congratulations to Silent Hill 2 Remake on being the best survival horror I played. Let's see what's next. We got Metaphor ReFantazio. I'm very excited to talk about this one. Best survival horror not living as a woman in 2025 America. Damn, Dave. Now listen, Dave, as a gamer, we're supposed to keep this apolitical. We're supposed to keep this apolitical, okay? We don't want to talk about Orange Man bad. Let's see. Oh, and Sputnik is here. Hello. Silent Hill 2, more like Silent Hill Goated. Actually, true. I was really taken in by it. But anyway, let's talk about Metaphor ReFantazio. As you can see at the top of my little paragraph here, this game rules. Okay, it's easily the strongest Hoshino game. It takes pretty much all of the groundwork P5 did in making very complex dungeon crawling versus social sim time management and turn-based battling, and it just perfected it, really. There being far more small dungeons for both side quests and the main story fills the game with a lot more urgency and variety, and even tiny things like social links only having 8 ranks as opposed to 10, the concept of attacking to stagger foes in the real world outside of combat easily carry a very strong adventure. And all of this is without even discussing the meta nature of the story and about how the characters wonder about a heretical fantasy book that describes our world, and if believing in that can bring change to theirs. It's very clever, and obviously, you know, looking at the UI, it's fucking gorgeous. This game looks really good. Holy shit. I think... Oh my god. Okay, these guys' accents are really distracting me. I'm actually gonna mute the footage. I'm actually gonna mute the footage because it's just like distracting me a lot. But yeah, I think as this game, like, essentially more or less like is a, maybe not, I'm not gonna say a sequel to Persona 5, but it is basically a follow-up to Persona 5, right? It's got the same director as that game. It's got a lot of the same flashy systems. Although this game focuses a lot more on like a job system, and it uses the press turn system from Atlus's other prominent series, Shin Megami Tensei. But it takes all the groundwork it's like I said here, it takes pretty much all the groundwork Persona 5 did in terms of making handcrafted dungeons, and then saying, okay, so you got the social sim, you got the calendar thing, and you got a deadline, right? And it really balances that a lot better, because if you're going to have this deadline, Persona 5's problem is that the dungeons are just way too fucking big. I'm like, straight up, like, they just take for fucking ever to get done. But then at the end of that, you've basically only taken up like 2 or 3 of your end game deadline, right? Like, you can easily clear it out in like a little bit. It's just that the dungeons themselves are fucking miserable. But in Metaphor, you do like a lot, all of them are like a lot shorter. And the reason the main story dungeons are a lot shorter are because a lot of the side quest dungeons, like a lot of being in this fantasy world, you know, you talk to some NPC somewhere and they're like, can you go kill a freaking monster? And you're like, yeah, I'll go do that. So then you have to go do a miniature dungeon, right? And so that takes up one day on the calendar as well. And so to balance that out, these story dungeons often take up a lot less time as well, because you're just doing a lot more consistent dungeon crawling, but with more breaks in between. And that just really makes the pacing feel so much better. I really can't understate how nice that feels. And you do have a lot of tropes of modern Persona, more so of like the other Hoshino titles, I guess I should say, because you still have these social sim elements where you can hang out with different characters during like the daytime or the evening. Fortunately here they literally just say daytime and like nighttime, because like you're not a student, like your character can literally just like go do whatever the fuck they want. And the social links all only have 8 ranks, and it makes a lot of these storytelling a lot more involving and better paced, because they don't have to drag it all out to 10 ranks. Like 8 is a surprisingly far more balanced number. Let's see. And then yeah, that's without even mentioning that when it comes to the combat, which I really liked the turn-based combat in this game. But dungeon crawling itself is also streamlined, because when you are in the overworld, you can do like little like 3 or 4 hit combos as whatever like job class you are to yeah, you can see right here. They're called archetypes. This game is all about learning different archetypes and giving them to all your characters to like build whatever party layout that you want to do. So when you're dungeon crawling, you can do like a 3-hit combo thing to either outright kill weaker enemies, or if they are around your level or stronger, you will be able to stagger them and get a like full free turn where they are completely, you know, like knocked out. And that also really helps you get through a lot of battles, because you can more easily take on foes that are way stronger than you just by having that 1 turn advantage. So not only do you get the Persona loop where like everything about the social sim gameplay feeds into the archetype tree, which feeds into dungeon crawling, and then that feeds back into the social sim gameplay where everything is just, it's meshed together to perfection. Wow! It's meshed together to beautiful perfection. Everything is just made to be even more tightly paced than it ever was in Persona 5. And I do have to say, I really liked the story in this game. Now, I've definitely said to, for example, Dave, I've said this to Dave quite a few times, I do not like fucking Ren Fair fantasy is what I like to call it, where it's just like, we are the knights and we serve the king and the princess and the royal family and we must go fight orcs and some, you know, it's all very samey. But this game has its cake and eats it too, because like I said, the big theme of the story is the power of fantasy itself, the power of having a fantasy and believing in it, which lets you actually, you know, achieve your goals. You have to take your steps to achieve the goals that you want to see, and you can do it if you believe in the fantasy that you have. Because the whole conceit of this game is that your main character wants to become king. Your main character is in a race for the first time in centuries. The whole nation is having like a somewhat, it's kind of rigged, but that's another wrinkle in the story. But you're having a race between you and other candidates to become first place and become the first elected king in the world's like history, basically. So that's what you're doing for a majority of the game. And the reason that your character believes so strongly in becoming king, and because is because he has a little book, and when you read the fantasy book, which is considered heretical by the reigning church faction, the book describes our modern world where, according to the book, apparently bigotry doesn't exist, and you know, everybody is allowed to more or less do as they please without being like put down in very bigoted ways and that sort of thing, and you know, like a class structure and blah 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 blah, which is obviously not real, but that's kind of the idea of the game, was that because this character believes in this made-up world, they're also able to convince other people around them to join their cause. Another fantastic element to the story is that your character essentially has one arch enemy who is constantly up your ass for the entire game, like always kind of one-upping you, and you're also really like both of you are like really like shoving each other back and forth really strongly throughout the entire game. And it's really an interesting ideal clash, because the way that they explain their morals is like really fucked up, but like they're a really intriguing villain you like to have around because they're really fucking scary, and you don't know if you ever have the chance to come out on top, and you don't know what it's going to take to really take them down, and they're just present through the whole game. It's just fantastic. Obviously it's an Atlas game, so the voice acting is incredible. I would say definitely, obviously, because it's not a Persona game and it's like it's fantasy and everything, like this, the soundtrack isn't really at the highest heights, but I do really love the emphasis, the battle themes on like choir singing and like Buddhist chanting and stuff. That really makes the soundtrack stand out. And there were quite a few pieces that I really, really enjoyed. Yeah, this game just really is like fantastic. Even as someone who's not the biggest fan of fantasy, like as an overall genre, I really did come to respect and love this game, because it really is everything that Hoshino has done previously with Persona. But because we're not stuck in the Japanese high schooler fantasy, or rather, I guess I should say, yeah, I mean, fantasy is appropriate here, but now we're in a more gritty, like high fantasy world. It really allows them to step out and make changes that formula really needed to step up to the next level, and it was really, really sick. I would love to see a follow-up to this game. I don't know if they'll make one. I am very content with this game for right now, because it really is just a really great game. If you're one of those people, Dave right now, I'm talking directly to you. But if you're one of those people that's like, man, I really need to play Persona 5 already, honestly, just play Metaphor. Because it really is everything that people praised about Persona 5 at the time, but done a lot more strongly. And also the game is overall a lot shorter. I know 80 hours still sounds long, but for a modern Atlas game, that's pretty doable, I think. It's pretty doable. All right, I finally got to talk about this game after a year, because I took my time with this game. I played it, like, basically I would play it for a few weeks, and then if I got a little burnt out, I would just like put it on the back burner, because I knew it was going to be a long game, and I didn't want to just like hate my time with it. I didn't ever want to reach the point where I hated my time with it. And then when I finally came back to the game, you know, after a while, it just felt even sicker, because Hoshino's storytelling is very much, they establish the status quo, like they have arcs because of like the calendar system. They establish the status quo, and then like pretty much in every subsequent arc, they find some way to like subvert that. And I think with this game's like running for the candidacy and like running for the kingship, and also like it's kind of like going around the world in 80 days type bullshit that it has going on, like it's a really fun time. It's really cool to see where the story takes you next. I really, really like Metaphor. So let's see what award I gave it, because I actually fucking forgot what award I gave it. But Metaphor gets the Best RPG I Finished award. Congratulations to Metaphor ReFantasio for getting the Best RPG that I finished award. Damn, that actually sounds a little bit passive aggressive to a certain other game, but I actually don't remember when we're going to get around to that game. So let's see what game is next. Oh, it's right now. Okay. Well, let's talk about Clair Obscur E33. Let's go ahead and mute this, because it may be really distracting. So this is unfortunately one of the few games I didn't end up finishing, just because I don't think I'm ending up to be the biggest Souls-like fan, and I found the dodging in the game and also the like numbers of damage to just really be really punishing literally most of the time, because the dodge animations just like refuse to let up. And at a certain point I'm like, could you just do like one hit for like half the damage you're doing, and then I can just I can just practice from battle to battle, please. I'm begging you. But because everything else about the game was pretty strong, it was fine for the most part. The real selling parts, as far as I'm concerned, would be the great presentation and the intriguing story. Again, I didn't finish the game. I did get up to Act 3, but I didn't finish it. But due to the turn-based combat, it really does feel like a long-lost Final Fantasy game. And that's fine by me. I fucking love Final Fantasy. If you guys know one thing about me, is that I love Final Fantasy. I fucking love that series so much. I just truly wish that I could handle the dodges, because all the enemies in this game are just way too aggressive. Like, we'll see here. The action commands for the attacks are quite samey, but then let's take a look at, I want to see what the dodges look like in this battle here, because I'm sure they're like 3 or 4 hits that you have to memorize. Yeah, here's a fast combo. And just imagine going into the battle for the first time. Just imagine imagine parrying that with the camera flying around everywhere for the first time. Like, it's just truly so much. It's truly so much. And if you're even a little bit under leveled, every single, like, you have to perfect dodge or you're gonna game over. And this game is very not forgiving with its game overs. Like, from memory, they like set you back and you have to like walk back into the area. It just really gets so fucking annoying after a while, like especially with later stuff. And I think with the harsh dodges, I'm more than okay to deal with that when it comes to like a boss fight, for example, where I'm a little bit more ready to have to try that over and over again. But when it comes to the regular enemy battles, I'm like, could you please just chill out a little bit so I could fucking... please just fucking give me the chance to like, if pretty much everything... And keep in mind, I spent a good time of my playthrough playing on fucking easy mode. So the attacks were already doing less damage, and like enemies could still like wipe me out after like 1 or 2 attacks. Like, it's crazy. So maybe I just was a little under leveled, but then again, I also just feel like the numbers were just like consistently way too high. So I don't know. I don't think it's possible for you to spend the entirety of an RPG being that under leveled. Like, I just don't know. But I would say, obviously, the game looks fantastic. The game sounds fantastic. The who did the soundtrack? I think his name was like Lorian Testaberger or something. I don't know, something like that. Something French. This game is made by fucking French people. I don't give a fuck. I think like, the game looks great. It sounds great. The voice acting was really good. The person that played Maëlle is a lesbian, which is like obviously plus points. You know, like, I really wanted to just like have a good ass RPG ass time, but unfortunately, see, look, every single attack is like 3+ hits. It just gets so fucking exhausting after a while. I just felt like I was under leveled the entire game. And I don't think that's something that most RPGs can get away with and still be enjoyable. So unfortunately, the game did wear out its welcome a little bit. But obviously, it just should be praised, because something I'm remembering looking at this combat system is that essentially every character has a very, very distinct gimmick. They all have very, very, like, it's not like each character just fulfills like an archetype. They all have very, very different systems going on. Like, for example, this girl that's being played as right now, like, you can build up, like, you have to put her in a specific, you use a move to put her in a stance that like min-maxes her for the next turn. And then you can unleash a move that goes well with that stance in the following turn. But you have to make sure that she doesn't take any damage during the guard thing. So you have to have some cockiness. And then this middle girl here is a little bit older with the dark hair. She is the magic caster, and you can put paint stains on enemies. And by building up paint stains, you can absorb them as her character in order to cast like super spells, from what I'm recalling. But unfortunately, there just came a point where I was in the middle of a boss and I was like, I'm fucking tired, boss. I can't do this shit. I can't do this shit. So, with all that in mind, Clair Obscur E33 receives the Neatest Game I Didn't Finish award. You know, maybe that sounds a little passive aggressive, but it really truly was a neat game. I just honestly really was running out of... I just like was a little mentally tired out by the game. I think also my mental health just wasn't in a great space while I was playing it too. Because it is also like my real life sucked. And then Expedition 33 was also just like really depressing because everybody's fucking dying and having mental breakdowns all the time. So I think honestly, it probably was just like wrong place, wrong time for me. Didn't it win Game of the Year? It did win Game of the Year at the Game Awards. But I just, yeah, I myself was just kind of like, yeah, it's a great game. Anyway, I don't want to finish it. You know what I mean? Like, there were a lot of boss fights where I was like... I'm seconds away from a heart attack. Yeah, that's how I felt throughout the whole time playing this fucking game, I think. Like, you really have to be on your A game, and sometimes I'm really in the mood for that. Like, I like when a game, like, punches me in the gut a little bit. I like when the game, like, grabs me and is like, hey, you like that? Hey, punk, give me your milk money. And then they, like, slam me, and then they, like, start slapping me, and they go, why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself? You know, it's a classic. It's a classic gag. It's a classic gag, yeah. Let's see. We're in the middle of playing Clair Obscur in the middle of the year when a lot of shifts. Yeah, this year was fucking crazy. I'm sure I'll talk about that a little bit later on. You appreciate it for what it is and just not the combat, and that's okay. Yeah, and it's like sometimes I can confidently say a game is great, but just not my thing. I think Expedition 33 is just one of those situations, because yeah, I love RPGs and I love big dark stories and I love really confident crazy UIs, but I think this game just went a little overboard with all those aspects. So I have to commend the ambition, but I think it really just got away from me a little bit. So let's see, now we get to talk about Metal Gear Solid 2. Dave, let's get into Metal Gear Solid 2. Dave, I'm gonna read my little write-up. You read your little write-up in the chat, okay? You write your little write-up in the chat, because let's fucking talk about Metal Gear Solid 2, okay? So I played this for the Post-Game Clarity podcast, and that two-parter episode about Metal Gear Solid 2 is a collective 10 hours of fucking content, okay? So if that doesn't speak to how utterly fascinating this game still is after 20 fucking years, I don't know what the fuck does. It's a story about memes, and we're not talking about like Trollface and Dat Boy, okay? Oh shit, what up? We're not talking about 6-7, okay? We're not talking about Labubu Dubai Chocolate, okay? We're not talking about Skibbity Toilet, okay? We're not talking about Among Us. We're not talking, what's another meme that happened this year? Fuck. Guys, help me. What was another fucking meme that happened this year? I can't fucking remember. Anyway, I'm just gonna move on. What we're talking about is the actual like dictionary definition of a meme, which is like an idea that gets passed on from one generation to the next generation, right? And it's also a story about the onset of internet culture, about the legacy that we choose to pass on, and so many interesting ideas surrounding it. And it's put in such a distinct package due to Hideo Kojima's direction. Like the best way to engage with Metal Gear Solid is to like genuinely talk about it with somebody in real life, is to like play it and go talk about somebody with it in real life, because those 10 hours, like the podcast was 10 hours because we just couldn't stop talking about like every little thing in this game and any topic that is like connected to it. And the fact it came out in 2001 and it got so much right about internet culture and consumption and still like has a message that resonates to this day, I think is so impressive and special. It just gives you so much to think about even now. And also, it is a really fun stealth game that has a lot of really clever tactics to employ. Yeah, it's a really fun game where you can also just like mess around with the systems just because you fucking feel like it. But also the story is like one of the most profound things you'll ever experience. But also it has some of the coolest action you'll ever experience. But also it has some of the stupidest, funniest bullshit you will ever see in any video game that like is so bizarre and strange and weird. And you should just literally play it and fucking talk to somebody about it. It'll like, it's just so cool. And it has a vampire. Yes, it has a fucking vampire in it. One of the bosses is straight up a vampire. And one of the bosses is called Fat Man, and he's a fat man that rides around on roller skates, and he drinks a big thing of wine. Speaking, yeah, it's definitely one of my I mean, Dave, this is one of those games where you play it and it's one of your favorite game. Like, Dave is like, yeah, this is one of my favorite games, and you play it, and not only do I believe it's one of Dave's favorite games, I believe it's like one of the best fucking games ever made. Like, it's just genuinely so fucking good. And for that reason, Metal Gear Solid 2 will be receiving the most wicked conversation starter award. Yeah, this truly is one of those games where it's like, oh my god. I mean, it's so hard to rehash all of it because obviously I already talked about it for 10 hours in a podcast. And I just am so fucking happy to have played this game. Like, it's just such a special experience. Like, it really is. Like, it's one of those games you play it and you feel such a reverence for the medium of video games, and you feel so grateful to have experienced this piece of art. Honestly, people should just listen to the MGS podcast is really fantastic. Dave, if you post it in the chat, I will pin that because people should go check it out. I actually do agree. Let's see, what's the next game? Oh, Dave, this is in the period of time when I wasn't like playing like any games. I got the Mega Man Legacy Collection for $6. And that worked out because you were playing that for another podcast game as well. Let me put some iconic Mega Man gameplay. Let me just put it in the middle of Mega Man 1. No, I'll put it in the middle of Mega Man 2 because that game is cool as fuck. Yeah, I'm so glad that Dave finally had us play these games. Even if it wasn't the most authentic way to play them on the Legacy Collection, it's pretty enjoyable to like just sit down over a couple of days and just plow through multiple games, you know, because they're pretty short for the most part, especially with the Rewind. Rewind via the Legacy Collection was employed heavily for many bullshit sections because Mega Man is quite hard and difficult. And I don't have the time and or patience of a 6-year-old in the 1980s to actually try to beat these games, unfortunately. But still, the charm and intrigue really did shine through for me, especially with 1 and 2. Like, even with 1, even with Mega Man 1, which is like they did not know what they were fucking doing yet. Like, the formula was very new and they just like weren't quite super confident, or you know, they didn't have like a whole resource of design documents, that sort of thing, you know. I feel like by the time Mega Man 2 and 3 came around, they were like, okay, we more or less like have like a formula going here, you know. But like even 1 not having that in place, I still was really intrigued by the game, and I'm really willing to forgive like a first go at a formula. And I found it very charming. Mega Man 2, though, is a very, very just straight up solid ass game. Straight up solid ass, enjoyable ass game. And plus, Mega Man 2 is also still really surprising in that there were a lot of post game moments or like end game moments that actually like kind of took me aback. And I also really enjoyed with Mega Man 1 and 2, I think what was really enjoyable is they show you the 8 Robot Masters and let you figure out the best order to try and defeat them with. And it's really fun to just kind of try to figure out how to go about doing that. And finding your own path through the game and like collecting the weapons and being like, oh yeah, I got cut. Or like, for example, I already forgot all the Robot Masters. Sue me, I'm so sorry. But it's really fun to just find all of the various weapons and being like, oh, I bet that would work really well and against this other character. I will also say I like the Mega Man format of character design. It's quite cute. I like all the different Robot Masters. They look kind of adorable and they all look somewhat distinct from each other, which is shocking because of the limited art style. And I will also say it is a little bit just fun to see how they kind of were being like, they kind of felt, I think it kind of felt like they thought Mega Man 2 was going to be like the last one, because like Mega Man like is like done with his adventures, and then the third one they're like, let's wrap up the trilogy, because they show all of the Robot Masters from Mega Man 1 through 3, and then they're like, and then Mega Man and his brother were brothers, and then everyone was like, wow! And they thought it was really cute and awesome. You know, just like little stuff like that. It's a pretty charming series. I do have to say, I really enjoyed playing 1 and 2. 3 was a really annoying game. And also, you look at the selection of Robot Masters, and you're like, "What the fuck is Snake Man weak to? That doesn't make any fucking sense. What the fuck is Top Man supposed to be weak to? What the hell?" And then it turns out the final boss dies in one hit to Top Man's weapon. What the fuck is happening in Mega Man 3? That game is fucking insane. I just overall did not feel nearly as tight. It was a very, very messy game. But that being said, I'm just overall really grateful that I finally got around to playing these games, because Dave had us do it for the podcast, and I think it did still result in a very fun episode. And I still would, after a pretty long break, I think maybe it's been long enough, maybe I want a bit longer, I don't know, maybe I'll wait until that newly announced dual overdrive game is about to come out, because 1, I would like to play more old games, and 2, I would like to see a Mega Man game with modern design chops, if that makes sense, or more, or even just modern presentation, because Mega Man is like such a retro concept, I think, as well. But I would be very interested to try out 4, 5, and 6, and I would also be very interested to graduate to the Mega Man X games as well in the future. And for that reason, Mega Man will be receiving the Glad I Finally Played Them Already award. Yeah, baby. What's my favorite robot? Let me look on the side here. Let me see if I can. This is fantastic. What's my favorite one? I really liked. Let's see. I'm gonna say Metal Man. I'm gonna say Metal Man because Metal Man's weapon is broken, so Metal Man is like fucking awesome. And also, Dave was telling us about that that Japanese punk song that was like, well, I would love to be Shockman, but I can't because I can't defeat Airman. And I just think that's a really fucking funny idea for a song. I just think that's like genuinely so fucking funny. I really do. I really do. I also know if May was still here, she would be talking about how Roll is one of her favorite characters, because she really likes Roll, is what she said, which is really cool. I definitely think Mega Man is also one of those things where it can really attract a lot of different people because of the different body types within the very simple design. Like, I could see people making their own like fan Robot Master characters, you know. I'm sure there's a really fun scene for that somewhere in the Mega Man fandom, which I'm not particularly super involved with. What's next? Oh, Kingdom Hearts 1.5. Okay. So let me get some music going here. Let's skip over here so we can watch the... Here we go. There they go. Look at them running around. Look at them running around in Wonderland World. So let's see. I replayed this for the sake of a canceled video essay before I started streaming more consistently, but this game is still awesome, to be honest. I don't give a fuck. Like, I know a lot of dedicated Kingdom Hearts fans are like, no, one like sucks, and then the only good games are like 2, and that, like, that's it. But I still really like Kingdom Hearts 1. It's a really, really cool game. The Disney stuff is excellently woven into a fairly simple hero's journey type plot. The combat still has a very nice charm as a, let's see, the combat still has a very nice charm as a marriage between real-time combat and then the command deck of an RPG. The game is just a delight still, in my opinion. It was shown up by the sequel for sure. I fucking love Kingdom Hearts 2 so much. But for the first game in a series that ended up being the odd one out a little bit, it's still just very pleasant and nice with all of its stuff going on. And yeah, like I said, I know a lot of people like to complain about how quote-unquote forced the Disney stuff feels, which I would vehemently disagree with. I think Kingdom Hearts 1 is by far the most cohesive with it. The various worlds really do tie in both the original stories and tie in really well with Sora's initial hero's journey. I think it's just the fact that the other games are follow-ups where things can get like a little bit more like they have to go a little bit out of their way to connect everything a little bit more. But I would say for the most part, it's still just fun to go from Disney World to Disney World. It's never really felt like nothing belongs to me. The evidence box or Donald's kill Donald. I think you should kill Donald. Top 10 anime betrayals. Wait, I didn't even know this was in this video. This is awesome. No, I can't believe you would kill Donald like that. What the hell? I can't believe you would kill Donald. What the fuck? Guys, I made this PowerPoint in like 2 seconds. What the fuck? I didn't realize there's so much editing in this video. Is this person like talking? What the fuck is happening? Damn, this must be somebody's like full-on like annotated walkthrough. I'm actually really fascinated by this now. I'm like getting really distracted. I'm getting really distracted. Okay. Yeah, teach me about Blizzard. Teach me about Blizzard. This is crazy. Anyway. But I really like Kingdom Hearts 1. It's a classic. 1 and 2 are classics for a reason, for sure. And I just really, really fucking love Kingdom Hearts 1. Let's see. And let me catch up on chat a little bit. Cancel. I need that Kingdom Hearts 2 video. I think, Dave, I unfortunately just kind of realized I wasn't making it because of my love of Kingdom Hearts. I was making it because I was really willing to, I really wanted to change the minds of people about Kingdom Hearts and like argue back against them. But then I just kind of realized I don't really care. Like, I think it's very much those convinced against their will are of the same opinion still type situation. And that goes both for people who don't like Kingdom Hearts and also me, you know? Like, we're both just going to be unmovable rocks. And I think also I just kind of really fell out of love with doing strictly scripted. Dude, this person's editing is fucking sending me. What the fuck is happening? What the fuck is happening down there, guys? Holy shit, I picked a horrible fucking video for this PowerPoint. Anyway, but I think I really fell out of love with making scripted content because, like, I could make... What the fuck is happening in this fucking video? But I was like, I could make this like 2-hour fucking Kingdom Hearts video that would get like 20 views or whatever. Or I could just like talk about it on this end of year PowerPoint thing, right? And they probably will get the same views for like way less effort, you know? And I think that's why I've really fallen in love with streaming. And I don't know. It's just like a big... I've just changed so much over the course of this year. But I can still just confidently say, yeah, I love Kingdom Hearts, and I don't really care what a lot of other people have to say about it. You know what I mean? So for that reason, Kingdom Hearts 1 gets the Most Emotional Trip Award. I do have to say, yeah, a lot of the emotional beats are like the times where they use the music or whatever to really draw like a nice emotional feely fuzzy out of you. It's just really nice. It's just so nice. Kingdom Hearts is just so fucking nice. I fucking love Kingdom Hearts. I fucking love Kingdom Hearts so much. I would be very, very willing to do Kingdom Hearts playthroughs for streams, or talk about yeah, maybe you can stream Kingdom Hearts 2 and gush about it one day. Yeah, and I think, assuming Square Enix wouldn't copy strike it, I would love to do a like a soundtrack ranking, especially for Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, because those games just both have fantastic soundtracks, and I would love to dive into them a lot more and pick them apart, especially because I have the instrument packs, or the sample packs for Kingdom Hearts 1, and it's really just really cool. It's really cool. I love the soundtracks of these games so much, and they're just so cozy and just wonderful and nice. Now let's get to, I don't know what the next game is about to be. I think after this game I might take a nice little break. I wanted to grab some wine for myself again to make myself a funnier presenter, but let's see what's next. Oh fuck. Oh fuck, guys, I have to fucking talk about the most controversial game, the easiest game to grift of the whole year. Holy shit, guys. This is gonna be fucking stressful. This is gonna be so stressful. Oh my god. Give me a moment here. Let me have a nice check. Okay. Well, whew, let's talk about Mario Kart World. Let's go a little deeper into Prophasia's. Let's talk about Mario Kart World. I know that the whole controversy around this game is because it's $80. Yo, Ben is back! Ben is back! Ben is back! I'm so glad that Ben gets to join to talk about Mario Kart World, the craziest fucking game of the year. Because I understand. I'm gonna say it. The game shouldn't be $80. I know I'm so brave for that. I know I'm so brave and controversial for that. But obviously, video games just shouldn't be $80. It just sucks. Like, you know, the economy, tariffs, bad, blah, 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 blah. And also, it really did kill a lot of the hype for the Switch 2 because they didn't disclose it up front. And also, people really excited for a new Mario Kart game after 11 years. And Nintendo was like, yeah, fuck you, $80, because we know it's been 11 years since the last one. But, you know, it is also... It's not just price points. It is also entire video game, you know? And I was lucky enough, very much thanks to my girlfriend, to I don't want to do the laugh sound effect, but I technically did get the game for $50, which is a much more reasonable price point due to the limited Switch 2 launch bundle, because on the launch day of the Switch 2, my girlfriend had the day off from work, and she went and she got in line first thing at Target, and she bought me a Switch 2. I'm really grateful for that. It's really cool to have been on the ground floor. This is like my first time like having a new Nintendo system like day one. Like it's my first time doing it. That felt like really special. And then Plush got to like come over when she was off work, and we set up the console together and we just played through all of the Mario Kart tracks. You know, like that's a really special experience. Like I'm not gonna sit here and say I didn't have a good experience with Mario Kart World. Will I talk about the game critically? Yes. Do I think the price point is bullshit? Yes. Do I think the game is perfect? No. And should you get it used if you can, if you end up with a Switch 2 and you are kind of thinking about getting the game? Yeah, obviously. I'm a normal fucking person who also likes Nintendo games. Mario Kart World is really fun, but the dollar price tag is fucking bullshit and it sucks. But the game is really fun. It's really fun. And let's just actually like talk about the fucking video game, okay? I'm gonna sit here and say Mario Kart World's biggest sin is being a jack of all trades and a master of none. Okay, that's what the real biggest problem with the game is. The tracks are overall really solid and good. The new parkour is fire as hell and adds a lot to the track design because you can jump and you can ride on walls and you can grind on rails, and that adds a lot more variety to the tracks and makes everything really frantic if you're playing multiplayer. Because you can jump on a rail for a speed boost, but then you can get fucking hit with a shell and get knocked off the rail, you know, get stuff like that. It's crazy. Makes racing extremely fun and super enjoyable. And I actually did get quite a bit of enjoyment out of the open world. It is actually a quite novel concept, and I'm glad that they tried letting you just go off-road on a Mario Kart track. There is a bit of novelty and fun to that. I can't lie. I would go as far to say that it's fine there aren't a bunch of checklist type things in regards to it. Like, they just want you to go explore and roleplay and use your imagination and find stuff to do. On the other hand, you can only get so much enjoyment out of the thing, and the updates and intermissions are definitely a little underwhelming. I think with a couple updates, the game really could straight up be the best Mario Kart game because the parkour is so fucking enjoyable to perform, and a lot of the new tracks and even remakes of older tracks are really fucking just so cool and fun. And so I think with a couple updates to online lobbies and that sort of thing, I dead ass think that the game's legacy could turn around. So I hope it does turn around in 2026, but I'm not going to be holding my breath for it. It's not even my favorite racing game from this year anyways. I think anyone paying attention can figure out what that's going to end up being, but obviously I got it with the bundle. The price is ludicrous, but there is one aspect of the game that deserves unbridled praise, and we will catch up with the chat and we will give the game's award, and I think everybody knows what award this game deserves to get based on what its unbridled praise it's getting. So let's take a look at the chat here. Yeah, Ben, nobody's got the money for $80 games. Yeah, it fucking sucks. And I'll be honest, if Plush wasn't able to get the Switch 2 on day one, like, I just would be okay with not having one at the moment, because it's like my financial situation's been up and down all year. Plush has been just like such a like big assistance to me financially. But let's see. Damn, this is great. I just spent like $60 at Whole Foods today. Yeah, that was kind of crazy. Let's see, I would have paid $80 for Avowed this year, but not $120. Instead I waited until the Christmas sale and got it for $60. Yeah, I think that makes total sense. I think the problem with Nintendo games is they never let their shit go on sale, which is really, really annoying. And also, when Doug Bowser says we're going to be seeing variable pricing, Doug, I don't believe you. So hopefully things can turn around a little bit, because yeah, Nintendo had a little bit of a rocky year. I'm not even gonna deny that. They just kind of went full mask off a little bit. Let's see. Plush says, and Plush, don't get me started on how stupidly expensive groceries are these days, and Australia doesn't even have the tariff yet. God damn, holy shit. Yeah, oh my god. Hey, Sound Font Guy, probably can't stay for too long, but I wanted to come show love. Yes, and we really appreciate that. I really love when people pull up to the stream. It's really enjoyable. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. You were just in time to watch me give a very appropriate award to Mario Kart World, which is the one aspect of this game. Man, Izzy, you've got the sniffles. Yeah, I do. I'm still getting over being sick, so I really apologize, but it really can't be helped. I'm on the very tail end of like the worst head cold of my life, so please just bear with me with that. But Mario Kart has one aspect to it that is completely worthy of praise, and that means Mario Kart World receives The best fucking soundtrack award, obviously. Are you kidding me? Like, what the fuck else would it be? Oh, let's go. Let's go. Yeah, there's really not a whole lot else to say about Mario Kart World. I can totally see I can totally see why the game is so controversial, but I'm just gonna be real. It's a fun game. And if you're not gonna buy it, I understand. I think that's fine. But it's a really fucking fun game. I don't really care. It's a fun ass game. But yeah, the soundtrack is just phenomenal. Easily the best fucking soundtrack of the year. It's not even close either. Like, you literally just get a non-stop playlist of remixes from like every major Mario game and some random, like, they remixed the fucking Mario drawing song. Are you fucking kidding me? And also the original tunes in this game are just so fucking fantastic. Like Plush said, Rainbow Road is great. Whistle Stop Summit is fantastic. Dandelion Depths is great. Boo Cinema is fantastic. Even stuff that isn't really the best thing ever, like you know, other tracks, like, it's just such a good soundtrack. I just love this soundtrack to pieces. It's been on constant rotation, along with the next game that we will be talking about soon, which will be Deltarune. But for that, I think I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm actually going to take a break quite quickly, and then we're going to talk about Deltarune after that. So I'm actually going to see if I'm able to take a break from the slideshow here real quick. Hey, do you like mind? Hey, yeah, I'm gonna pull up some music for you guys while I go get some stuff. Oh, Izzy, you're not gonna like the Deltarune segment of my upcoming 2012 video? I'm probably not going to, Dave. I'm just gonna cope and accept that now. But also, I will be in that live chat to tell you that you are wrong. I will be in that live chat to tell you exactly why you are wrong. Let's go. But anyway, let me pull up some music. What do you guys want? Let me just put on the Mario Kart World soundtrack for you guys. Put that on. Yeah, let me just put this on for you. It'll be nice. I'm gonna take a break and I'll be right back for you guys to talk about Deltarune. Okay, gamers, I'm back. Okay, gamers, I'm back. Can you hear me? Can you freaking hear me? Let me get caught up on chat. Let me see if there's anything I want to respond to. Let's see. I just realized Izzy didn't do an opening comedic monologue. We were robbed. Okay. Let me do. What even happened this year? Or I guess rather, what didn't happen this year? I got fired this year. So I don't know, I guess that's, I don't know, that could be pretty funny, right? Like that, I don't know. That's kind of humorous, right? Gulp. Well, here's a funny thing I can do for you guys. Here's a trick called, I have a crazy amount of sangria in this cup, and I'm going to drink some of it right now. So here I go. Ugh. Oh my fucking god. Oh, it's so bitter. I need more, I think I need more sips in order to get used to the taste. Oh, fuck my life. Dave, do I... He's drinking sangria because she's like... Yeah, the more sangria I drink, the more normal I become. The more tolerable I'm going to become during this PowerPoint presentation. Alright, I think for the sake of, just having something besides my voice and my sniffles going on, I'm gonna actually just leave the Mario Kart OST going on in the background. Excuse me. So let's talk about Deltarune. I'm currently in the middle of streaming a replay of this with my girlfriend Plush and my friend Lacey. We've been voice acting the game. I play a lot of the characters. I play a lot of them. I honestly should delegate the characters out more often, I think. But Plush plays Ralsei, and then my friend Lacey is just perfect. Oh wait, I need to switch over to this layout. I need to switch over to this layout. And then my friend Lacey plays Susie, and she's just perfect as Susie, because Susie is just like the GOAT. I just love Susie's character development. I love pretty much everything about this game. Its subversive writing, an overall likable humor that jumps between meta stupidity and genuinely clever and emotionally sincere, and then the drama that comes out of nowhere and just punches you in the gut. It's been really interesting to see how my opinion changes over time, because I remember when Chapter 1 came out, and other than the intrigue of Toby just shadow dropping a new whole ass game with no fucking promotion or anything, Chapter 1 was a little bit standard feeling. I think everyone still overall liked the game. I definitely came away from it being like, oh yeah, I mean, that was good. That was good. But it didn't really like do anything. But then a few years later, Chapter 2 drops, and the writing in that is just such a step up. And, you know, when you realize that Chapter 1 is the tutorial, and then Chapter 2 just really goes off the wall and subverts a lot of what you would expect after having only played Chapter 1, you're like, oh, okay. Toby's like cooking. Okay, gotcha. And it was a lot more exciting to wait for the upcoming chapters. And then with the latest basically being a launch title for the Switch 2, release of Chapters 3 and 4. Chapter 3 ended up being my favorite because the main antagonist of that chapter is literally just me. Like, that character is literally just me. I really connected with that character so much because he's the bad guy, but he just has he just has a deep love, he just has a deep desire to, like, be wanted. Like, he wants people to want him around, and he wants that constant attention, even if he is being very forceful with his desire for attention. And then Chapter 4 really just takes a turn into very, very sincere and actually, like, you know, building a lot of the lore forward and that sort of thing. I think what Toby's doing with this game is really interesting. With Chapter 5 coming later, later next year. I'm just so excited to see where this game goes. And chapters 3 and 4 really have a lot of fun gameplay to offer. I'm so on board to see where Tony's adventure takes us. It's just so fucking fantastic. I fucking love Deltarune, and I'm really excited to see where it goes. And also, the music is really good. I can personally tell you guys that one of the boss themes from the game, from these newest chapters, ended up being my #1 like played song of the entire year on my Spotify Wrapped, because I just couldn't stop listening to it. It really had me so addicted. And also, I'm not showing any footage of the game because I just don't want to spoil these latest chapters for anybody. Chapter 3 is really just such like a what the fuck that like you just can't handle it. Like it's just so fucking good. And also, yeah, Plush is a great singer. Plush is such a great singer. There's a part where a choir was singing, and they show lyrics on the screen, and then the choir is like implied to be singing those lyrics with like the melody. And Plush thought it would be really funny to make up her own melody to voice act and sing, and it was genuinely very funny and silly. It's so fun. Yeah, I'm really loving streaming Deltarune with Plush and with Lacey. Deltarune is really cool. So with that all being said, Deltarune is going to receive the Game I Want to Least Spoil for Somebody award. Like, it really is one of those things where it's like, I just don't want to, unless you're in the know, I don't want to talk about it with you. Unless you be knowing, I don't want to talk about it because I'm just scared to ruin something truly phenomenal for you. Yeah, Deltarune just really is just like such a special experience. I'm really coming to really respect the shit out of Toby Fox. Like, he just really is like such a generational talent, I would really have to say. Maybe I should watch you stream it. Dave, this is what I'm saying. I've been wanting you to show up to the streams the whole time. I've been wanting you to show up to the streams the whole time, Dave. But yeah, you should go watch the VODs. You should go watch the VODs, especially for Chapter 3, because I fucking love Chapter 3, and Chapter 3 is awesome. Let's see. Now let's get to Donkey Kong Bonanza. This game, let me just say it. I'm gonna say this up front. I don't want to spoil the game before I tried it myself. Fair enough. Let me just say this about Donkey Kong Bonanza. This was almost my game of the year. Okay? Almost. Let's read my little Here, let me just skip to a random point here. Here we go. This game clears Mario Odyssey so easily, but even beyond being made by the Mario team, the exploration and objectives are just so fun. Donkey Kong has really interesting movement that's fun to chain for tight, enjoyable platforming and skips, and the digging and destruction is just hilarious and freeing in a way that's very different from anything in Mario Odyssey. I also think I overall prefer this game's presentation. I mean, okay, the soundtrack is weaker. The soundtrack's definitely a lot weaker than Mario Odyssey, which is unfortunate. But the design for DK, I'm really coming to love. And also, with the Mario team finally getting away from Mario's point of view and the tropes that surround the Mario series, like, the game introduces so many cool characters, and it actually is a somewhat engaging plot that I actually really enjoyed following along with. I never got sick of doing anything during the post game as well, which is far more than I can say for Mario Odyssey. And yeah, I think I definitely like still agree with all of that. I spent a lot of time working on the post game stuff, but I just never got tired of the game. The little challenge room type things that it has in common with Mario Odyssey, I think, are just a lot more fun because Donkey Kong can like just climb on the walls and dig through stuff and like surf on the ground and everything. I think the I think a lot of like the open world exploration aspects and like the digging really opens that up, right? Because it feels a lot like Breath of the Wild, and they're like, hey, like you just go figure out how the fuck you want to explore around these big spaces, and like you're playing a game that's made to like jump around and everything. But the monkey climbing and figuring out how to like smash through walls and like navigate truly around this 3D space, like it just always stays engaging, whether you're looking for even just tiny collectibles or just looking for shortcuts around the stage or that sort of thing, or new objectives. And I found it just to be extremely fun and engaging. And yeah, like I said, because the fucking team wasn't stuck with like the tropes of Mario, because I remember like obviously they're trying to get away from it now, but even with something like Mario Odyssey, where they really wanted to get away from chorus clear gameplay and go back to like the big stages and exploration, they still couldn't get away from Princess Peach got kidnapped and you have to go save her. And that was like the biggest criticism I remember hearing directly around Mario Odyssey's release, is just that the people were like, I mean, obviously, like due to the passage of time, people have a lot more to say about that game now. But I remember directly when the game first came out, their big criticism was, can we just fucking stop having Princess Peach get kidnapped? It's like 2017, guys. It's 2017. And I think Nintendo has finally started to do that for sure. But I think also they just kind of were like, the team was very much like, oh, we're stuck, because, like, we have to do this because it's a Mario game. Like, Princess Peach has to get kidnapped, it's a Mario game. But because we were creating this new era of Donkey Kong, right? They really went all out being like, okay, so what does our version of Donkey Kong do? Because we're not doing Donkey Kong Country again. So what is this? What are we gonna do with the new villains? What are we gonna do with new side characters and species? What are we gonna do with new gameplay? What are we gonna do with new, like, what does this new version of Donkey Kong like do? And that leads to a lot of cool stuff like younger Pauline being your sidekick. That leads to new bad guys in the form of the Void Company, which is really engaging to follow. I really like them as villains. And it leads to new transformations for Donkey Kong. It's a lot of fun stuff that like actually does build off of Mario Odyssey quite a bit, as Pauline is still a singer in this game. And I think it just genuinely is a really fun game that's worth trying out. And honestly, playing through at least to the credits. Like, maybe you won't like the post-game as much as I did, but I fucking hated Mario Odyssey's post-game. It was miserable, and I never got sick of it with Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong Bonanza just truly is a very special game. Like, this is the kind of game where I'm like, now that's a fucking Nintendo game. Now that's a fucking Nintendo game right there. And I would be really excited to see what they do with a follow-up, but obviously they are going to move directly onto whatever is the next 3D Mario game, and obviously that's pretty exciting too. So with all that being said, Donkey Kong Bonanza receives the Best AAA Platform Game Award. Yeah, congratulations to Donkey Kong Bonanza. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, I really fucking like this game. Play Donkey Kong. Let's see. It's very satisfying to watch. Yeah, the digging is really fun. I do know there were reports of people getting motion sickness from it, which is unfortunate that was the case, but I didn't have those issues, fortunately, so I really enjoyed it. That's high praise. I made a video on how bad Odyssey's post-game was compared to the main game. Yeah, I would say it helps that there are a lot more, because the really big annoying thing is that with Mario Odyssey, there's only 2 more objectives to go for an absurd amount of moons, and Donkey Kong Bonanza's post-game split has like 5 or 6 main objectives and really paces it out like a lot better. So it is fun, and I would also say it also makes it a lot more clear that like you don't have to do all of it unless you like just want to. So I thought it was a big step up from the Odyssey post-game. Still not perfect. I wouldn't say it ends up being like super perfect, but it's a lot more enjoyable and it feels a lot more doable. So yeah, I would really recommend Donkey Kong Bonanza. Super great game. Now let's talk about Kirby Star-Crossed Worlds. This is probably going to be the thing that I have the most negative things to say about in this whole discussion. Okay? Because Kirby Star-Crossed World is a DLC level pack for the Switch 2 upgrade for Kirby and the Forgotten Land. And I gotta be real, I cannot recommend Star-Crossed World on its own merits. Let me take a big drink of my sangria so I can just complain about this and I don't have to feel guilty about it at all. Oh, fuck my life. Oh my god. Is these lists being Nintendo focused? Give me my fainting cap. I like my quirk-ass little Nintendo games. What can I say? Hey, Dave, at least I front-loaded it with Nintendo stuff, so you know I'm not just being a Nintendo shill. I was just really excited to use my fucking Switch 2, okay? I was just really excited to use my Switch 2, alright? But, let me just say, with Kirby and the Forgotten Land, I found the Switch 2 upgrade to be really worth it. Because despite the janky presentation of the original being stuck on Switch 1, the janky presentation, it was like just such a fun game that I didn't even care. And so obviously with just like having a Switch 2 upgrade that just like fixes those issues and just makes it like look all nice and pretty and perfect and everything, I was like, yeah, that's sick. And having 12 extra levels is certainly fine enough as well, but like I don't think a resolution buff and 12 extra levels is worth $20. I don't know. It just ended up not being super worth it. It came out on a day I was working from home for my job, so I literally just like did my work for the day and then I just like booted up these 12 levels and I just beat them all in one sitting, you know? And it's like, that wasn't worth $20. It just really wasn't. But I wouldn't say the DLC is a full-on letdown because the remix stages are like of the same high quality as the rest of the base game. And obviously, I think the biggest issues with the presentation of the original is you could definitely tell they were so tired of working on Switch 1 because like the frame rate was locked to 30 still, and the draw distance just like wouldn't. Just like you could look off in the distance and you could see stuff like moving at like half the frame rate basically. And so just having an update that just like polishes all of that up and just bumps up the frame rate, bumps up the resolution, stops the draw distance from being horrible is just like fantastic. Like it really makes an already great fun game just present a lot nicer too. It makes it go down even smoother than it already did. But for $20, come on, guys. Like, I know you're Nintendo and everything, but like, you're not. Come on, guys. I can't. Like, there was actively a friend that was like, "Izzy, should I get this?" And I was like, "No, it's $20 for like a resolution buff." And obviously, they made the intelligent decision as a consumer to like not get it. You know, like I thought it was perfectly fine. I wasn't offended or anything, but like, I also just can't say that it was worth it. As a DLC and like as a little frame rate buff. But I will say that the stages they included, there just weren't enough of them, but they were of a nice high quality. So Kirby Star-Crossed Worlds will be getting the very passive aggressive most purchasable DLC award. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for most buyable DLC. Jesus Christ. I think when I finally sat down to write out this thing, I was like, I didn't hate it, but like, what the fuck was that? What the fuck was this? Like, you know what I mean? Like, just what the hell? What the hell? I just kind of didn't give a fuck. I didn't even fix the formatting on the award title. I didn't even give a shit. I didn't even give a shit about Kirby Star-Crossed World. I beat it in a day. I beat it in a day. Also, yeah, Dave, oh yeah, you recommended I finally try this Kirby on the Switch. Yeah, I would say, I think it has an eShop demo as well, so if you wanted to, I think you could definitely try that and get a decent feel. I think it has a couple levels, so you could definitely have a good time with it. Because I really like Kirby in the Forgotten Land, but also I'm just a huge Kirby head. I'm just a massive Kirby head. So let's see what's next. Oh, we got Chibi Robo.
Wow!
Let's go, let's go. Let me get some footage of Chibi Robo. Doop-de-doop-de-doo. Yeah, even better. That means I don't have to emulate it. I can try the real thing. Yeah, exactly. Student name in the court. Yeah, I was too lazy to change those slides. But let's talk about Chibi Robo here, okay? Let's talk about Chibi Robo. I didn't quite finish this game, but most of the game was very, very enjoyable. I loved the extremely charming and silly over-the-top atmosphere. Like, it's a very, very funny game. And then also the surprising marriage drama at the center of the story was like really interesting. It gets you invested, as well as all the strange toy subplots going on in the house. Even the bizarre traversal has a lot of laid-back charm to it. Like in this game, Chibi Robo can't jump, and so if you fall and stuff like that, like you're gonna be losing power. And also when you walk around, like you use up power, so you constantly have to go to outlets in order to charge up Chibi Robo. And it takes a lot of getting used to at first, and it's a little annoying, but when you get like one upgrade, like to the level of your battery, it really makes all the difference and makes the game a lot more enjoyable. But I will say, a big reason I ended up dropping off in the latter half of the game is because a lot of the puzzle progression is just very stilted due to the day-night cycle. And it's one of those games, I try to look up like walkthroughs if I got stuck, and literally nobody on Google or like a forum or even any video walkthroughs could like give me the answer I was looking for. So I literally just like hit a brick wall, and I just really didn't want to figure it out. And the traversal can be a little bit tedious. So like if I don't know what solution I'm working towards and I can't find it anywhere, it just got a little bit frustrating. So I just got very discouraged. So I ended up dropping off of the game. But everything about the game really did it for me. Otherwise, the soundtrack is like very pleasantly busy and jazzy and very willing to take risks and be very interesting. There's a lot of just like very weird comedic aspects to this game, and it's just very, very charming, and it's a really cool game to check out and just like be very surprised by. I ended up enjoying a lot of it, but I think just towards the end of the game, I was just like, I literally cannot figure out what the fuck I'm supposed to do, and I just got like very discouraged, and I eventually like moved on to other stuff. But for the most part, I can really recommend Chibi Robo, and who knows, you might end up enjoying it a lot more than me. But I really had a good time trying Chibi Robo out, even if I didn't ultimately end up finishing it. Yeah, Dave, marriage drama. The story is about marriage drama. Yeah, it's crazy. It's actually nuts. It's actually kind of very appreciated, I have to say. Also, I'm like obsessed with like the little girl character Jenny, who's like literally just like a nonverbal autistic who thinks she's a frog and only communicates in ribbits. Like, she just is like such a cute, adorable little character. I really like her a lot. And the music, yeah, the music is just simply so fucking good in Chibi Robo. It's a really, really charming game. Maybe I'd try it again for like a couple streams or something. I don't know. I probably wouldn't. But I would just say I really like the whole atmosphere of the game. It's fun as fuck. It's fun as fuck. It's quite nice. So that being said, Chibi Robo will receive the most Quirk Chungus Award. The most Quirk Chungus Award. Man, I really didn't give a fuck when I was putting this PowerPoint together. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I really liked I really liked Chibi Robo. It's a cute little game. I would really recommend everybody like just try it already. It's really delightful. even beyond anything that you've heard about it, it's one of those games that has like a lot of really cute, fun stuff to offer. Yeah. All right, let's have some more sangria. Oh, fuck my life. Ugh. Drinking fucking poison over here for you guys. Yeah, the quirk chungiest game. We finally found it, Ben. We finally found it. The most quirk chungiest game. Whew, I really had to recover from that last wine sip because it's hitting a little bit. Why are you drinking something you dislike so much? Because I had a birthday party and my roommate made a bunch of sangria and I have to use it up. I have to use it up. Next time I do a drinking stream though, I think I will just stick with like a can of something and have something, a nice little sugary drink for myself, I think. I'm medicated anyway, so I'm gonna get drunk as hell no matter what. Let's see, let's have a little bit more. Let's have a little bit more. I also have like an electrolyte mix in my water that I'm drinking as well, so I think it's keeping me from getting used to the sangria because it's all like sugary and sweet. But all right, let's see what game awaits us next. Oh yeah, it's Mario Galaxy 2. Whatever. What the hecky? Okay, so this is the first game I ever did a full-on playthrough of on stream. It seems like everybody that tuned into the stream was like really enjoying it. I think that's like really where I really hit my stride as Izzy-Doodle, because I think I also started with that that new setup with Mario Galaxy 2, which is really fun and cool. Let's see. Yeah, it's just Mario Galaxy 2. It's my first big Mario game. It's a huge, big throwback. So there's not too much to say because there's so much that I could say about Mario Galaxy 2, but also everybody's already said everything that you could possibly fucking say about Mario Galaxy 2 because it's a Mario game. I just love Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 so much, so like I don't know, I don't really want to belabor the point. So I'm just gonna give this the nostalgic GOAT award. Congratulations to Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 for the nostalgic GOAT award. Yeah, I don't want to waste everybody's time by just talking about like by talking about a 15-year-old Mario game that everybody's already played a million times already. So we'll just leave it at that. We'll just leave it at that. Let me have some more water. Give me one moment here. Give me one moment here. We're having more sangria. I gotta empty out this cup so I don't gotta drink this anymore. And Dave, we've already been over this. We've already been over this. We've already been over this. Why are you drinking something you dislike so much? Dave, I only like drinking because I feel like I get to be Crash Bandicoot in real life. We've been over this. We've been over this, okay? Now, let's get into whatever the next game is. What's next? Silent Hill F! Let's go, guys! I get to get political! I get to get political! Let's go! Guys, who's ready for Izzy to lay down some political facts and logic, okay? But let me play some footage while this person runs around in the school dungeon, because I really liked this game. Guys, Silent Hill is back, but apparently that's a bad thing because the new teams are making it too on the nose. Apparently, except not really, because when you actually play the game and pay attention, you realize that the main character is actually a lot more like aggressive and willing to beat the shit out of people by nature. So I think it's fairly in character for the horrors to also be quite aggressive. And it also makes sense that her personal hell would be somewhat loud and aggressive as well. So I don't really know what these people are complaining about. Surely there's not some sort of significant difference between the story of this game and previous games that would cause people to be like, it's not like the old games, right guys? Right guys? I don't think there's a difference where the main character of the 20-year-old game is a boy named James and the main character of the new game is a woman named Hinako. Surely there's no difference there that would cause people to make very bizarre and unjustified criticisms. But anyway, for real, I'm gonna be real. I feel like not enough boys are willing to acknowledge that because this game is even more tied in with the social horrors of being a woman as opposed to the social horrors of a guy who does bad things to women. I think a lot of boys talking about this game should probably just cool it because it's not going to be exactly like Team Silent. We're entering a new era of the series. So not only do you need to be more open-minded in a social sense, you do also need to recognize Team Silent just doesn't exist anymore. And I think it's okay for this new era to move on. I will say, there's quite a few puzzles that are still sticking with me a couple months later, especially between my 2 playthroughs that I did on 2 different puzzle difficulties. I do think requiring multiple playthroughs for the full story is quite cumbersome, but I'm gonna be so real. I was so enraptured by how this game used both its historical time period and the setting of a whole other country in order to dive into the different social horrors of like being a woman. The protagonist of Silent Hill 3 is a girl and it's amazing. Yeah, I think definitely I don't want to discount Silent Hill 3. I haven't played it yet, but I think also I think Silent Hill 3 definitely tackles different subjects surrounding the horror of womanhood than Silent Hill F does. Like, they're definitely both taking very different approaches, especially because Silent Hill 3 was still in the era where the games were set in the American literal town of Silent Hill 3, whereas this game is like using the idea of Silent Hill more as like a paranormal phenomenon, right? Yeah, I was really into it. Yeah, I was having that thing where, like, because I was like really stressed out and scared playing the game, I would say, like, I had a really difficult time putting it down because, like, I just got like so sucked in. I got so sucked in. And even doing my second playthrough, I got to see plenty of very worth it different things that did expand the story. It's just unfortunately I didn't get to see a separate ending because I didn't fulfill the requirements, which is unfortunate. So that definitely was like very frustrating. I don't think that ended up like being that worth it, but I think because I ended up just watching like all the endings on YouTube. But really paying attention to the different cutscenes I got to see and how they end up playing out in various, and how they ended up playing out in various different ways between the 2 playthroughs was still very interesting. And I really did get involved in like how they turned, because what's so interesting about Silent Hill is the ways that the Silent Hill phenomenon specifically chooses to torture each protagonist and show them spooky, scary shit that specifically relates to their situation. And so obviously, because what's the girl's name in Silent Hill 3? Heather? I don't know. Heather, whatever. Heather, Hildred, I don't know, Hildred, and Hinako are obviously different characters. I think the way that it explores motherhood in this game, and the time period being a historical drama, is just really fascinating. I really ended up connecting with it through various circumstances I've seen with my friends, and even certain stuff that I have gone through as well. I really liked the way that the game's basic plot was constructed. I think it goes a little bit overboard by, this game is very infamous now for having the plot take place throughout a time loop that keeps giving you more information when you get more endings and that sort of thing, but I do think it ends up going a little overboard with the time loop stuff in terms of the endings. But I really enjoyed especially my initial playthrough, and then even seeing differences in the cutscenes ended up being just super fun to pay attention to. And also it gave me a chance to try the harder puzzles, which was really fun. I really liked the puzzles in this game for the most part, and the dungeons especially. There definitely could have been more. I would have liked for them to have been more, but I really liked the school dungeon. I really liked the house dungeon. It was especially fantastic. And yeah, I really liked the monsters in the game too. Yeah. Sadly, the time loop is a calling card of the writer, so it's less obnoxious in a visual novel format. Yeah, and I can totally believe that too. That makes a lot of sense. It's very cool. I saw a lot of praise for a lot of that sort of thing. I already was seeing some people say this when people were initially talking about Silent Hill F after it came out. But a lot of people were saying, I feel like much like some of the other Silent Hill games, this game's reputation will only improve with time. And I absolutely believe that. I think the more people are actually willing to accept the very heavily female perspective of this game, and actually just like accept it for what it is, as like not the newest release to like freak out, its reputation is really going to like improve with time. And I really do agree with that, which is why Silent Hill F is going to get the Best Scary Story Award. Ooh, spooky. Ooh. Yeah, there were actually a lot of like scary scenes in this game where I was like, what the fuck? Like there is some downright, I think it works especially now on current hardware, but there were a lot of sequences of body horror that just left me floored with not only how grotesque they were, but also just like how frightening it was for our main character to go through that. And the game plays a lot with like, you become safer as a player, like you are less likely to game over, but at what fucking cost for the actual like reality of the main character, you know what I mean? It's so fucking cool and interesting. Yeah. Plus this year is so stacked for video games. I think a lot of titles will gain esteem as more people actually get around to them. Oh yeah, absolutely. And I do think a big part of it is we have the like this era of everybody has to have a take right away. Silent Hill comes out day 1, day 2, everybody has to have their take. Yeah, I didn't think it was as good as other games in the series because I'm like really rushing my way through it, you know what I mean? And also we live in the era of the media grifter, so who knows how many people genuinely didn't enjoy this game versus they were just told that woman in it's so bad, or that it's not the same as the Team Silent games, you know what I mean? So if people say they straight up don't like this game, it's kind of difficult for me to know if I actually believe them or not, which is really unfortunate that we live in that time. I think, for example, if Sputnik was still in the chat, he would still say that he made a very good video on why he was very disappointed by the game. And I think it is fair to be fairly disappointed by this game with the time loop and everything. But like, it's not a bad game. Like, I'll be real, and I think this is happening with the Metroid Prime 4 discourse too. It's like, just because it's not the exact same team that made the originals, and just because it does things differently from those originals, we're entering a new era for the franchise, doesn't mean it's actually a bad title. Maybe you do prefer the old thing, but sometimes you do just kind of have to like mentally prepare yourself and accept a new era for thing you like if you want it to like be financially successful. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I really liked Silent Hill F. It left a very positive impression on me, despite my frustrations with it. So, I'm willing to say a lot of positive things about this game. I really like Silent Hill a lot. Oh wait, guys, we have to take a music break. We have to take a music break. Can I? Yeah, we have to take a music break so we can listen to the Baby Park remix, guys. Why the fuck did they do this? Why did they make a hyper pop remix? Why did they make a dubstep remix of Baby Park? What the hell? Guys, Soundfont Guy doesn't like this soundtrack, by the way. By the way, guys, growing up is realizing that Baby Park is a good track. This is so silly. Why do they do this? This is so fucking funny. Sorry, I just really want to listen to this. I'll get back. I'll catch up with chat in a second. It's so silly. Why do they make Baby Park low-key emotional as fuck? Give me a funny key change. Give me a funny key change, please. I'm begging you. Give me a funny key change. I'm begging you, please, please. Yes. Yo, I'd be twerking in the club to this shit for real. I'd be twerking in the club to this for real. Yes, dubstep in 2025. Yes! Bring me back to LMAO. Man, I really need to do another music listening to stream soon, huh? This is silly. Alright, next song, what's next? Oh boy, Bass Galaxy, fuck my life, it's so good. Oh. This is so fun for a drive. Alright guys, I'm getting too distracted. Let me catch up with chat. But yeah, the rush to have a take in the financial system is not letting people sit with the art. Yeah, and I think it's really like a big reason I wanted to focus on streaming is like you really have to be there and flesh out your take in real time. Like you actually have to sit down and actually come up with like your full opinion. And I think it's as fun to say I'm a writer, but I can improvise my way to like a well thought out opinion. You know what I mean? And then if people are like, I don't know if I agree with that, then we can have a nice back and forth. It's so very productive in that you're immediately having a conversation with someone instead of getting wicked inside of your own head. You know what I mean? So I think also it's really important to literally just be like, I'm just going to play this game. And it's okay for me to like it, it's okay for me to not like it, but that doesn't mean that I have to make it my whole personality in order for financial incentive. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's good just to play something and not be like, no, I have to know what my take is. I have to know what my take is. Low-key, I don't care. Low-key, I don't care. I low-key just love video games, and I want to talk about how I love music and how I love storytelling and how I fucking love talking about it with other people. You know what I mean? Like, at a certain point, I don't really want to be known for, like, my takes. I want to be known for, like, being fun to, like, engage with, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, conversations are the best way to dig into work. Like, yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think streaming kind of has, like, a nice podcast-like appeal to it. I would agree. Yeah. All right, let's get back to the awards. I just was laughing. I was just LMFAOing so fucking hard at the Baby Park remix. Oh my gosh. Oh, fuck my life. Sangria be like. All right, what's even next? I don't even remember. Oh, Resident Evil HD. I streamed this. Let me just skip her somewhere around here. I fucking love Resident Evil. It's definitely not the scariest thing on planet Earth, especially like once you've beaten the game. But it has a fantastic, fantastic presentation that leans both into like a gorgeous high budget look with the pre-rendered backgrounds, which still look great to this day, but it also has some very nice moving acting. The voice acting is like genuinely both hilarious, but also, like, for example, Jill sounds and looks so dead-eyed and stupid that, like, I want to protect her. Like, I want to make sure no harm befalls her because she doesn't sound like she can do it herself. Does that make sense? Like, does that make sense? I don't know. But that's kind of how I've always felt about the performances in this game. But the real draw of this game is formulating and executing a path through the areas and managing your inventory versus the threats you either know are there / could be there out in the mansion. There's definitely like a welcome element of stress, as well as using your knowledge to make plans and eventually escape the mansion. The puzzle box element is fantastic and just simply timeless. It's just so timeless in this game. Like, I can always come back to Resident Evil 1 or Resident Evil 2, for example, and just know that I'm just gonna have a good ass time. It's just perfect to throw on during Halloween times. It's really enjoyable and fun. Man, Resident Evil is so cool. I mean, it's not the scariest game in the world. It definitely isn't, but man, super dope. Super dope. Oh, God. So that means Resident Evil is going to be getting the tightest puzzle box award. Congratulations to Resident Evil. And yeah, like Plus is saying, I really liked this stream too. Yeah, I actually also did do a full, the reason it's here is because I did a full playthrough of Resident Evil around the Halloween times. And despite a few really inconvenient game overs, meaning I had to repeat a lot of content over again a couple times, which didn't make for the most fun playthrough for me, and probably not the most engaging the most engaging stream for people to watch. I think it was still really fun to revisit this game. I really like Resident Evil. I think it's really engaging and cool and fun. So I just really have to give this game its flowers. Congratulations to Resident Evil's HD Remaster for receiving the tightest puzzle box award. Now we're getting very close to the end here. We're about to pass the 2-hour mark, which is, honestly, I'm really glad that we're having a better time compared to how rough this stream started. I have no fucking idea what had happened that time. But let's see, let's talk about Kirby Air Riders. Let's talk about Kirby Air Riders, because Kirby Air Riders for the Nintendo Switch 2 is really a game made just for me, and also for my girlfriend, and also several friends that I have. I would borderline say it is a driving simulation game with made-up cartoon vehicles over a racing game, because racing is but one of the modes, and also not even the best mode, because City Trial will actually change your life because it's both skillful and completely random. The game requires so much skill to have a chance, but it also never feels punishing when you lose. That's quite the achievement. Also, holy shit, the story mode goes so fucking hard. Like, the story mode is like genuinely just like such a engaging, interesting narrative that's something that like Kirby in general does really well, is like engaging you in like a narrative that is surprisingly, like, it's definitely not deeper than any given Mario game, but it does a lot more to engage you consistently. Yeah. And the soundtrack is fantastic. Not only are there a lot of fun remixes, not only do a lot of the best tracks from the original Air Ride return, but a lot of the original tracks made for the game are just like, they're just so good. They're just so fucking good. Like, god damn, dude. I fucking love Kirby Air Riders. I genuinely have a massive Kirby hyperfixation. I don't think this is something a lot of people know about me, but like, I would definitely say Mario is definitely like my lifetime main hyperfixation, or at least one of them. But Kirby is definitely one that doesn't show its face, but it's definitely just as strong as my Mario hyperfixation. Like, I love Kirby so deeply. I have such a reverence for the whole Kirby series. And games like Kirby Air Riders are why. Sakurai really did such a fantastic job directing this game. And everybody that worked on it. It's just like so nice to see such a niche game get a very polished and worth it follow-up in the launch year of the Switch 2. Like, it feels like this would be like a year 3 or 4 kind of weirdo game. But no, they're just putting this out right up front, and I just couldn't be happier. But, yeah, I'm just really obsessed with Kirby Air Riders. I think this will be a game I'm playing throughout, like, the entire Switch 2 generation, to be honest. And I cannot wait to have this be a video game relationship that ends up being quite timeless. Because I'm already so deeply in love with this game, and I think that that's just going to keep... I think it's just going to keep going on for the rest of the fucking Switch 2 generation. Like, I'm so happy it came out like when it did in the generation, because like this generation, I mean, if you're not a fucking bing bing wahoo adult who only cares about Mario and Zelda, like the Switch 2 launch is pretty solid, all things considered. I have to say I'm really enjoying my time having a Switch 2, but also like a lot, I do think there probably could be some more titles coming out through 2026 and 27 to make it a lot more worth it for more people. But Kirby Air Riders, like Dave says, yeah, it's a game for the sickos. Yeah, it's a game for the specific sicko that I am, and that's just like fantastic and perfect. So that means Kirby Air Riders was going to be receiving the Best Driving Type Video Game Award. Yeah, congratulations to Kirby Air Riders. Thank you so much, Kirby, for just being so fucking good. Guys, I have to tell you actually a story about this is like the cover art for the game is where I got this picture from. And so I went to Best Buy, I picked up my copy, and there's please talk about Waddle Dee. Okay, we'll get to some Waddle Dee yapping here in a moment. But I took a picture of like the new game, and there's a older lady that like I've known since I was a little kid, and I sent her a picture of the cover, and I was like, hey look, I got a new game, because I knew she wouldn't know what Kirby was. And she looked at the picture of Kirby and she said, oh, is that a cute pig type character? And I was like, yep, and that's literally an awesome cute pig type character. So I've just been like obsessed with calling stuff blank type characters now, because she just changed my vocabulary. It's super funny. But speaking of cute type characters, what I didn't know, like I figured my girlfriend would like love the really cute characters of the Kirby universe. Like I figured this would be a game she would really get into, because she really likes Smash Brothers. And I had no idea who she would pick out as her favorite. I honestly was like, oh, she'll probably like just stick with Kirby, which is like fine. Like that was like my like back of my mind assumption when we started playing the game. But the more we played it, the more Plush really discovered a love for Waddle Dee. And I'm not even talking about Bandana D seen here on the cover art. Okay? We're talking about normal ass Waddle Dee from the Kirby series, okay? And not even just that, the yellow color variation of Waddle Dee, okay? My girlfriend has found a beautiful love for the Waddle Dee character and has been kicking my ass as Waddle Dee so hard. So it's always really fun to see people around you like find their new favorite character or like their new favorite thing just by like virtue of being around you. And I really just love hanging out and doing like super fun stuff with my girlfriend. And in fact, that actually brings us to the final game that I have played and beaten this year that I would like to talk about. Would you guys like to hear about the final game of 2025? Tell me yes in the comment section, because I'm going to keep drinking until you guys say yes. I'm going to keep drinking alcohol, okay? I'm threatening you. Yep, we're already at the final game, Dave. Can you believe it? Oh, Jesus. Oh, fucking Jesus, dude. This sangria is fucking crazy. Oh my god. I'm going to chug so much water out of this to get the sangria bitterness. Yeah, let's go. Alright guys, we all have to say 1, 2, 3, final game on 3. Okay, we all have to type in the chat when I say final game after 3. After 3, then you guys have to say final game in the chat, and then I'll show off the final game. Okay, so let's all do it together. Let's all do it together. We're all gonna do it in perfect sync. We're all gonna do it in perfect sync. And then when I say it in real time, it will appear here in the chat box, okay? We're doing it in real time. We're doing it in real time together. You guys ready? All right. 1, 2, 3. Final game. Guys, you didn't type in the chat box. You didn't type. Guys, we all have to do it together. Dave. Guys, we all have to do. No, guys, we all have to do it together. We're gonna do it one more time. We're gonna do it one more time. I'm gonna count to 3 and then say final game. You're gonna type it in the chat box right now. Okay, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it one more time. One more time. Okay. What? And don't get mad at me for drawing this bit out. This is like taking a family photo together, and we're gonna get this right. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Final game. You guys didn't type it. You guys didn't do it at the exact same time as me. Ryan's okay, Dave, you're kind of killing it. You're kind of killing it in the chat. Vital lame and Ryan's main does actually kind of go hard. But anyway, I won't drag this out. I won't drag this out even more. Let's get into the final game of 2025. Plush will be very excited to talk about this one. And Dave, you actually put this one on my radar. Let's talk about Dispatch. Let's see. Dispatch is just really fucking enjoyable, and also I played it with my lovely girlfriend. Say hello to Plush in the chat. This year, with releases like the 3rd season of Invincible, which is a show I really love. I love Invincible so much. And the Superman movie, which was really enjoyable and fun and really cool. And getting into Batman the Animated Series, I'm really coming to love superhero media again after being very burnt out on the MCU for years, and then I unfortunately was like blaming everything else for how boring the MCU kind of is to follow, if that makes sense. I kind of just bought into, I'm not interested in the biggest superhero thing, which means all superhero media is really annoying and boring. But this year I'm actually having a big turnaround and really falling in love with superhero media again. And Dispatch is just another superhero thing that's really cool, and I'm really loving. Yeah, Dispatch really scratched a fun superhero itch with a more with a bigger focus on like being an office comedy about superheroes. And as a Telltale style game, I was also really surprised with the dispatching gameplay, where you would like actually go through a shift and send out the right superhero for the job and see what happens, but also because it takes tabletop RPG elements about leveling up your character's stats and also essentially performing randomized dice rolls when you send characters out for the jobs to see if they succeed or not. It really surprised me by even having those elements. Like, I straight up thought it would only be the narrative cutscene shit, and I was like, yeah, sure, maybe the story is fine, but I actually really liked those gameplay elements with the RPG elements, and it made it super engaging. And I low-key was feeling the stress of the job of not having enough heroes to send out, or maybe not having the exact hero that would be perfect for a specific situation to a certain situation, because I already sent them to another situation that they weren't actually that good for, but they would have been perfect for this one. Fuck, I already sent them out. Fuck! You know, so I was playing with Plush and I low-key was like getting a little bit stressed out, but I really liked the characters, so I stuck with the game and I found it really worth it. I really liked the path I ended up being on, and I really liked Dispatch. It also had like, you know, some pretty fun takes on superhero concepts, and it also was really enjoyable to see how everybody's stories played out, both just in general and based on your choices. Yeah, I mean, you know, I honestly, I would have been fine. I was fine with the romantic elements in the game, but honestly, it would have been fine if the game didn't have them. You know, like I don't need rom-com elements to be in like everything, but like I get it. It's pretty easy to get invested in, especially for a workplace comedy. Like if these guys wanted their own version of like Jim and Pam, like I totally get it. I think it's fine. It doesn't weaken the game for me, but I found all the characters to be pretty enjoyable. Yeah, I chose Invisigal. I chose Invisigal somewhat predictably. And then Plush said I asked her for a quote on the game since we played this together, when she said it was really good and I think that they should come out with more games like that. So either we will play Dispatch Season 2 if they ever make Season 2.
Wow!
Or maybe me and Plush can get into some more of the more established Telltale games and try those out, because I haven't actually played any of those. So I'd be very willing to try those out, especially with Plush, because Dispatch will be receiving the Best Date Night Comedy Award. Congratulations to Dispatch for this very prestigious and serious and very legitimate and awesome award. Congratulations again. It was genuinely fucking awesome, and I really enjoyed my time with Dispatch. It was quite fun. Dave, I would like to hear your thoughts on Dispatch if you're still out there in the chat. Let's see. The pre-Walking Dead Telltale games are really interesting. I love the 2 Bone episodes in Sam & Max. We should really play Sam & Max. Oh, and the Homestar Runner game. I forgot they made a Homestar Runner game too. Yeah. So maybe we'll check those out. But yeah, we really enjoyed Dispatch, especially together. It was a really good time. We got to find more date night style games that are just like really easy to throw on and both enjoy. Yeah, I tried Dispatch. Its humor wasn't for me. Yeah, I do have to say some of the humor is just like, okay, yeah, whatever. But I do have to say there were some bangers for sure. And I think also I just really got attached to the characters. And sometimes somebody will say like something that is written as a joke and maybe I don't find it super funny, but because a character is saying it, I do get quite attached to it. Because I do have to say they did pick a lot of really good, they picked a really good voice cast for this game. Aaron Paul kills it at like everything. Like Aaron Paul being both from Breaking Bad, which rocks, and BoJack Horseman, which is like one of my favorite shows like of all time. Just turned in a really, really good performance as Robert, and everybody else did a really good job too. The game did get a lot of press for having like a bunch of YouTubers in roles, but I think they picked the right people for the job. So honestly, even if the humor didn't always land, it was kind of fun just to see like how people would deliver things, and it was pretty cool, I have to say. So if you guys want to see a top 10 from me, there you go. There's my top 10. Like and subscribe to Izzy-Doodle. Yes, everybody will like and subscribe to Izzy-Doodle in real life. Let's go. So guys, what did you think? Guys, what did you think about this type of stream? Would you like me to see me do more presentation style streams like this? Do you have any ideas for topics that I could do in a presentation style? This was my first time trying something like this out. Is he reminding me to maybe like the video? That's pretty good. I made her keep Sonar because of Charlie. Yeah, because Sonar kept pulling up. He was like, guys, what the red circle is doing is one of the most fucked up and bizarre things I've ever seen in the history of humankind. The way these guys are putting implants on various characters and people out in the world is making me really upset, and it's making me vomit and shit out diarrhea feces. And I think that anyways, that's about it. See ya. That's my impression of Moist Critical. That was my impression of Moist Critical of a Moist Critical video. Let's see, 10 out of 10 award show. Oh, thank you.
Wow.
That's very sweet. I think it was a nice video. It's a better version of your wrap up from last year. Yeah, and I think it'll be a lot more fun if I leave this video up. Obviously, I have to trim out a lot of the crashes from the beginning of the stream, but once I add some like timestamps to the stream and everything, I think it'll work out quite swimmingly. All right. Anybody else have any? Anyone else have any thoughts or anything that they wanna chip in? Otherwise, I think I will go ahead and end it here because I think this stream picked up a lot from the beginning, but I am still a little taken aback by my computer crashing at the beginning of the stream, yeah. Oh, this is a really good remix too. The Histocrat one. Oh, the solo. Oh my god. Plush wants to add in Waddle Dee. Plush, we need to go to the jazz bar again and go see some fun jazz. That would be fun. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and let's see what the next one is. Oh, Delfino Plaza. Yeah, I'm gonna leave you guys off with this, and I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream there. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see what we end up doing next time. Thank you so much. Bye. Hey guys, Izzy-Doodle doing a call to action here. Please make sure if you're new that you're subscribed and ring the bell. And if you are here in general, just click that dang like button, please. I would really appreciate that. It all really helps out the stream. Please also check out the link to my Discord server in the pinned message in the chat. And you can join really cool artists and people for random shitposts and discussions, and it's quite silly and fun. Thanks. Hawk Tua.